Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Griefdrums, and today we're going to be taking a look at 0 Hour. This is a new tactical FPS game currently being developed by M7 Productions, Atreto. Now, this game wasn't even on my radar. I knew nothing about it until one of my subs hit me up on Twitter. They sent me a message to my DM saying, look, have you heard about this? And I just want to give a big shout out to Carlvard for suggesting this game. Thank you very much, dude. I went away, I had a look at it, I watched a tiny bit of footage, and then I checked it out on Steam and said, you know what? For the price, you probably can't go wrong. It was about £10. So I thought, let's jump in and have a look at it. And it's very clear that this is the game that sort of Rainbow Six, I think, initially intended to be. It seems very similar to sort of something like Ready or Not. If you're not aware of that, I recently played the alpha of that. And again, it's a similar sort of concept that they're trying to go for, where they're going for more of a tactical first-person shooter, which, as I say, is what Siege used to be. It's not so much anymore, and that's not necessarily a negative. I mean, I really do love Rainbow Six. However, my only minor criticism would be that it's just slowly moving further and further away from the kind of game that I would normally play. I personally prefer things like mil sims and tactical FPSs, and we're just not really getting that anymore. Now, like I do say, I love Siege. I really do love Siege, so please don't think I'm trying to bash it. And I'm not trying to draw too many comparisons between this game, 0 Hour, and Siege. However, if you look at this, anti-spawn peak measures in a 5v5 bomb-style game where the attackers go into the map, they're trying to basically take the core concept of Siege and then all the things that people criticize, like, you know, preparation, exit limits, and, you know, running out, essentially. They're trying to counter all of that stuff that a very vocal part of the community kick off about quite frequently. Now, whilst that doesn't pose a personal issue to me when I'm playing Siege, it's quite clear that it does to other people, so seeing this kind of thing in the game instantly sort of piqued my interest. After spending about 5 minutes sort of setting up audio levels and stuff like that, I then jumped straight into the training warehouse. Now, the training warehouse, who'd have thunk it? A training warehouse in an early access game? God forbid we'd get one in a AAA game, right? But there is a training warehouse, and the training warehouse is really, really handy for getting used to the weapons. Obviously, you can see we've got something similar to a sort of a SCAR here with an ACOG, and I sort of set about just trying to get my aim in and messed around with it a little bit, and very soon realised that there were other weapons on the wall that I could pick up. Things like a shotgun, there was an M4 set up over there, and a riot shield with a Mach 11. There's all sorts of different things. So I started messing around with these and then ran through the actual training ground itself. Now, what I mean by that is this game has a kill house in which you can move around and practice shooting targets. And it was very quick that I learned that, you know, a lot of these targets were stuck right into the corners. And it was kind of like a bit of a teaching moment or a learning moment, if you will, where I kind of thought to myself, you know what, I'm really going to have to check my corners in this game. It's going to be a lot of people hiding. It's going to be a lot of camping. And it's going to be a lot slower paced. And this is kind of pushing me towards understanding that, I felt. After running the kill house a couple of times, I did it about 3 times, I think, in the end, mainly because there was a timer on there and I wanted to consistently improve. I'm far too competitive for my own good. I then jumped into the quick match so I could hopefully find myself a game. And here's where I encountered my first issue. There's not a massive amount of people playing this game. So the queue times were reasonably long. When I say that, I mean, I waited a good 10 minutes or so for a game. And you might be thinking, 10 minutes, that's not very long at all. But the reality was, I sat in the lobby on my own, quite literally just there on my own, thinking, is anyone else even playing this? I was on at a prime time for Europe in the evening. I was kind of expecting it to fill up a little bit faster, but you know what? This is no different to the early days of Siege. The queue times used to take forever, and you can't really put that down to the developer. It's more down to the player base. At the end of the day, if it hasn't got a large player base, you're not going to have the numbers there to fill lobbies. Nevertheless, after a short amount of time, the lobby did fill up and we managed to get into our first game in which I could properly try this out. So in the first game we were playing over here on the hotel, I was on defense, and the planning phase pretty much lets you choose the location of the bomb site that you're going to be going to. It lets you choose your weapon and a gadget. Now, the only weapons available to defenders seem to be Mach 10s at the minute. I don't know if you can unlock more. I don't think you can. But one interesting thing that you can do is if you manage to kill one of the attackers, you can just go ahead and pick up their weapon. Now, we'll get to the attacker weapons in just a minute, but during the prep phase, so the prep phase lasts 25 seconds in which you can move around the hotel or the map that you're on and you can do some setups, try and get into the positions that you want to be, you know, ready to defend from. And as you can see, I had a bit of trouble opening doors. It was a little bit finicky. It's a bit frustrating, to be brutally honest with you, but this is something that can quite easily be fixed. But I moved around during the prep phase to try and get this booby trap set up. I wanted to tripwire a door that I thought was a common entrance. I couldn't quite figure it out in the first round, and before I knew it, the timer had started and the attackers were coming. So I ended up just leaving it for the first round. In the end, it turned out that I had inadvertently changed my keybind, and the fact that it was telling me to press G to set up the trap, it just hadn't updated the actual like sort of notification of what I should be pressing. So I changed my keybind and forgotten and was thinking, I don't know what's going on here. Before I knew it, I was getting shot at from an area that I didn't have much of a clue about. As you can see, I tried to return fire and the dude just had me cornered. I couldn't seem to move into this bathroom, and it was really frustrating that I couldn't. There was no way out of dodge for me, so I just kind of had to stay put and see if I could contest him. The range on the M4 that he was using, or the SCAR, meant that he ended up peeking me and killing me at the same time as I leant out to kill someone else. So this does kind of show the sort of state of the game. The map isn't quite refined enough, I don't think, yet. Graphically, it doesn't look brilliant, but you know, the weaponry and the actual operators themselves do look quite clean. But as I'm flicking through the operators here, you'll notice that this guy right here is actually utilizing one of the attacker's weapons. So as I say, when you kill an attacker, you can actually go ahead and pick up their weapon, which gives you a bit more of an advantage as a defender. Now, I actually quite like this idea. The reason being, there's an element of realism there. I mean, if you were stuck in a situation in which you had a small firearm and you were trying to engage over, you know, a reasonably long range, if there was a better firearm next to you on the floor, you would go ahead and pick it up. So I kind of like that sort of realism element, if you will. Now, a couple of things to note are the fact that the rounds last 6 minutes. There is a 6-minute timer. And on top of that, you've also got a lot slower movement. It's a lot more janky in an attempt to sort of stop you just running about and shooting like this is Call of Duty. Now, as far as the attack side of things goes, after you play 3 rounds on defense, you then play 3 on attack. And the attackers get a planning phase in which you can actually try and figure out where the bomb is and stuff like that. This isn't really used, and I think this is why it was dropped from Rainbow Six. I love the concept of it. I love the idea of it. In this kind of a game in which it's PvP, I don't think it's ever going to really work. However, if it was more of a PvE side of things and you were actually playing co-op with your friends, I think it would work a lot better. Nevertheless, the core gameplay itself isn't too bad. The community is obviously quite small. And whilst I wouldn't recommend checking it out right now, I would just kind of hope to see a little bit more improvement from the game before I go ahead and play it even more. We're kind of stuck in one of those catch-22 situations in which if people don't play it, the devs don't get the money and therefore the game doesn't improve. So, you know, would I recommend playing it? For 10 quid, I'd say it's probably worth a go. Are you going to be investing hours of your life into this like you do with other games? At the minute, probably not. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and leave the rest of the gameplay to play out. You'll be able to hear my commentary over the top of it to get a bit of an idea of my thought process as to specific rounds. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully it gives you some food for thought. It's not a bad game. It's got the core concepts there. It just needs a bit of work and a bit of refining. Is that possible? Yeah, it kind of is. It all comes down to the player base, the community, and how much time and effort the devs have to be able to put into this, how much love and passion they have for it. As far as I know, this is only available on PC. This isn't a AAA title, and it's never going to be. But does that mean it can't be good? Definitely not. I mean, look at games like Squad, look at Hell Let Loose. They're not AAAs, but they are still phenomenal games that are thoroughly enjoyable to play. Right, hopefully you enjoyed the rest of the video. Hopefully you can take a little bit of, you know, information away from it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, it was... Oh, I see him flashing his torch. I wonder what was going on then. Oh, this door maybe? Yep. Sit down. I don't know what he was going to achieve there. There's 4 of us stood here. I just don't know the map well enough. Oh. No way. That's sick. I wonder why we had flashlights. Bro, they've turned the lights out. That's so good. I didn't know you could do that. Wow, that's a great feature. Wait, is this bulletproof glass? Don't know why I can't hit them. Wow, this is so cool. The potential here is huge. No. See, like, I want to use the flashlight so I can see, but obviously it gives away where I am. I'm guessing it blinds people as well, though. Oh, lights are back on. Oh, what? Oh! He must have had body armor or something. I thought I destroyed him then. I stopped shooting. I landed so many rounds on him, I honestly thought he was dead. Right, I'm going to try and peek this dude. He's got a shield. I'm just trying to bait him out, but it's not happening. Right. Two of them out there. Can we... Ah! No. He was so fast. That was insane. I mean, we kind of won the round, but Jesus, he just flew around that corner. He was like sort of crouching, and the next thing I know, he's just sprinting at me. A blitz. Okay, so the MAC-10 is definitely the only weapon we can have. I'm going to go with... I'm going to stick with the door trap, I think. Okay, let's get out of here quickly. We'll try and set up this door trap as soon as we can. I don't want to put it in the room with the hostage because there's a grenade on it, and the last thing I want to do is accidentally kill the hostage. Where does this door go to? See, this is the problem. I don't know where any of the doors go to. I think this one goes to the stairwell. So we'll set the booby trap up on this because I've seen someone come through here previously. I don't really know where to sit because I don't know where they're going to come from, if that makes sense. I want to guard the door for the hostage, but we're falling into, like, siege tactics here from year one where people just sat in the room. Oh, that's interesting. My teammate just walked through my booby trap and didn't set it off. I didn't expect that to be the case. I'm trying so hard to listen and just failing miserably. Let's try and open this so I've got a little bit of cover at least and I can jump out. Or at least duck into it. I'm expecting someone from either that door right there or someone on this door on my left. I think the one on my left is more likely, and the fact that I got that other one booby trapped. Don't need to worry too much, but we'll go ahead and close that. Where does this go? That's just a laundry. All strapped up with a bomb. I probably shouldn't say that. I'm going to get demonetized, aren't I? Saying things like that. What have you got, buddy? Oh. Got something. Can I pick up this weapon? Yeah, I can. Let's go! Okay, so we're on attack now. Which means the planning phase. We get to do this planning phase just here. So, weapons. You only get a limited number of weapons, unfortunately. I'm going to take flash grenades and I'm going to take shotgun. Unfortunately, all the assault rifles are gone, so rather than run the MAC-10 or MAC-11 or whatever it is, I'm gonna go with the shotgun, and I'm gonna go from emergency point.
Use the planning table to find the bomb.
In fact, we'll have a look during this. So the planning phase, we're looking for the bomb. We've found it in room 302, so we know it's on the 3rd floor. As far as entrances go, I can go side entrance. What's this one over here? Yeah, I'm gonna go from this entrance. And try and rappel up or go up the staircase. At least then we're not pushing directly into the room.
Alex, can you hear me?
See, out here looks really, really nice. Now the prep phase is over, I think they can keep an eye out the windows as well. I think they can actually shoot out the windows. We'll see if we can rappel up. See, animations wise, they could do with adding some extra animations, but that's stuff that will come in time. I've got friendlies in there. Oh! Sit down! Heavy contact. I'm going to close this door to make sure we don't get flanked. He's covering left, so I'm going to try and cover right. I think that's a staircase over there as well, but someone could come from there. No. Let's put someone down on the left. Flash out. I think I just flashed my teammate there, but we'll ignore that. Right, I don't know what we're firing, whether we're firing slug here or not. I don't think we will be. I'm going to have to try and close the gap a little bit. I'll stay to the left and clear this. We look clear to the right. I think he was shot from the left there. Yeah, we're all shooting into the left. Oh, ho, ho, ho. That was horrible. Everyone was dying. That was fun. Well, you know what? For my first ever game, I don't think that's gone too badly. It could have gone better, for sure, but I don't think it's gone terribly either. There's definitely a lot of room to improve, though.